Every day we wait, they get stronger.
Let's take them by surprise.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
Rogue One starts here with Andor, and we're talking about each and every episode of the Disney Plus original series Ongoing Rogue. My name's Dylan Blight, and join me, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here and excited to let you know there's only one way out of this podcast. Listen until the end.
Very good. Nice. I hope he wasn't going to tell everyone to stop listening. This week, of course, we're talking about episode 10 of Andor, titled One Way Out. It was directed by Toby Haynes, written by Beau, Willimon. Synopsis was, a rare opportunity opens and the time for Cassian and his fellow inmates to act is now. What do you think of this week's, I guess, finale of the third act? What do you think of episode 10?
Really good episode. I'm glad I stayed up really late to watch it. Obviously we're recording a bit later. Obviously Black Panther Wakanda Forever came out. You can go listen to our spoiler cast over an all new Marvel cast. We saw it Wednesday night. And then recorded the podcast really late. I'm seeing Twitter and everybody's popping off about the episode. So I'm like, fuck it. I just need to watch it, Yeah, it was worth it, Really great time. Serkis, amazing. Diego Luna, amazing. Just, the way they built up the tension through everything. And even when you, cut away to other people who aren't involved in this prison break, you aren't upset because, all that stuff is really great as well. So, yeah, another fantastic hour of television from Andor.
I don't know, we were saying last week, it sort of becomes redundant to keep, coming in here and be like, another really fucking good, another really great episode of Andor, everyone, crazy. Who'd have thunk it? But man, not a really great episode of Andor. This show, I'm consistently getting more and more annoyed because this is the best Star Wars has been since The Last Jedi to me. That is this. I don't feel like that's even a hot take. I feel like that's something not everyone would agree with, but I'm sure that's a statement that'll echo through some people's minds and stuff. But fucked if I barely see anyone, or not enough people talking about it. Everyone's all up Obi-Wan's ass and Mandalorian and whatever else. I was like, fuck, it's actually beginning to annoy me because it is so good.
I mean, but then you see so many reports of people like, oh, I was so burnt out from Star Wars. I've been hurt so many times that, I didn't give this one a chance. There weren't enough lightsabers and jetpacks to get me interested. And then they all hit the good bars and they're starting to come, Maybe we're better off without those people, the dude bros watching this show.
I mean, maybe. But I'm just consistently, this show's so good. And this is what I want from Star Wars. And then the problem is that if these shows don't do good, then I'll get stuck with mediocre Star Wars, which is what I want. I want good Star Wars, so it's so annoying. But I mean, obviously this episode, culminates with the escape that we all knew was going to get to eventually. But once again, the way we got here, the fact that I think the biggest thing that stands out from this arc and seeing it all play out in this final episode is the fact that Andy Serkis and Beau Willimon, who I think wrote all three of these episodes, or at least this one last week. I definitely remember they wrote last week's.
Yeah.
The fact that all three?
All three,
yeah. So
and I don't know if we pointed this out. Beau Willimon, creative House of Cards. Or adapted to American. So,
okay, no, I didn't know that.
So this is a guy who made a highly successful TV show, just being a staff writer here on this Star Wars project, It's quite amusing when you think about it.
Yeah. But the fact he managed to write in 3 episodes this such a fully formed character. I think what's the character's name? Serbil. Fuck it. How do you say it? Where is it? I need to find it. I can't find it. Have you found it? No. Are you looking at it? No. Not. I'll keep talking shit. I swear it starts with
Kino
S.
Loy. You talking about Serkis?
Kino Loy. Yeah, I thought it was Serbil or something. No, I'm thinking of someone else. Kino Loy. I think the fact that I feel like this character has more character. 3 episodes has a story that makes more sense and with more character progression than characters in half-ass TV shows do in 10 seasons. I honestly, not to say everyone else in the show is bad or anything, like the acting all around in this show is just all around the board great, but this has to be easily one of Andy Serkis's best performances, if not, I swear, like his second best to fucking, I don't know, third best maybe, Golem and bloody Caesar, then this. Like this is easily his best live action performance, like not motion cap. I can't think of it. He is so good. Like it is. I just can't overstate
he's
how
pretty
good.
great
Like
in Batman this year.
What the? Is that what? He's not in the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman.
Oh, he's Alfred, right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah I forgot. Hey, yeah, completely forgot he's in it. Yeah, no. So this is 10 times better than that. But yeah, he's like his whole arc and everything he goes through, and just every scene, seeing him like play it out, the motions of him, you can tell like everything's like racing across his mind at the start of this episode as him and Cassian like walk through those corridors and talk, and Cassian's very fast, like because Cassian knows. And he's right. Like he says, like they're going to bring a new guy in tomorrow. We have one chance. We got to do it tomorrow. We know, like he's very much like we got to get this. But yeah, you can see on his face, like you can just see on Andy Serkis's face, he's really like just like trying to piece it all together and struggling. And then when they walk into their sleeping area or whatever else. Just yeah, I like just it was so good. And then to have everything after he does such that amazing speech. After Cassian gives him shit, which I really love seeing Cassian give him shit because he's actually inspiring someone to give. That's way more of a like rebel heart sort of moment that he's had. He's telling him, he's pushing him to give that bigger speech, get everyone on board because they talk about how, and again, like tying into how Cassian gets more involved with the rebels and stuff. They talk about and they know that the only way the prison break works is if everyone is on board and if they can. Burn that same fire in everyone to uplift and turn against their oppressors sort of attitude, which is why he wants him to do this really good speech and on the PA system and pushes him towards it. But just the fact that he gives all that just to run out there and that shot of Andy Serkis's face as he's like standing there as everyone's jumping off and then just is like, I can't swim. And then that's it.
I can't believe this whole project was like a build up for Andy Serkis to, try and score the job of Ellie in The Last of Us.
I mean, it's true. They should just grabbed a plank and pushed him across. But yeah,
you couldn't find any floating device inside that prison?
I don't know. Maybe he does turn back and go try and... Maybe he does turn back. But I think it's just the fact that as maybe Cassian would have gone and looked for something. But it's just the fact that as he says, what? And then he's just pushed off.
Yeah,
like,
he got knocked off.
Don't know.
Everybody has the good grace to walk around Andy Serkis, but,
Yeah,
fuck Cassian.
It's just yeah. So I thought that was just yeah. Then so we cut away a couple times. Obviously, I agree with you. I don't feel like the cutting away to the two other characters really does any disservice. Well, I guess there's three technically. There was one quick scene with someone else, but I don't think it does any disservice to the episode as well. The pacing was pitch perfect. Like the cutaways come back. They never cut away from the escape. Like at the end there when it was actually all happening. They did it in the lead up and built the tension and whatever else. But you've got Luthen. That scene was really really good when he meets up with the informant from Lonnie. The informant. He's got work. Who's
inside the ice.
Has that one scene there with Dedra or whatever her name is. There as well. He wants sort of out, but Luthen's not going to let him. But yeah, again, Andy Serkis was a standout, but what a fucking performance.
What a performance by Stellan Skarsgard.
Stellan Skarsgard here. Because yeah, his whole thing where he starts going off about, what have I given? Everything. And like all that shit. I was like,
yeah.
What a monologue.
What a way to end the episode. Here. Like fucking hype.
Yeah. So good. And then the fact he just presses that button and just sends old mate back down.
Yeah, he's on this elevator. He's in a coat, like coat flowing in the wind. He looked friggin' cool. Obviously there to like motivate him to like reaffirm Lonnie's dedication to the rebellion and like trying to keep him because obviously if he leaves they're kind of fucked. Like that's a massive resource that they're gonna struggle to get back again. Yeah, but a lot of stuff in that scene, like he says, you need to tell these people about Anton Krieger's people are about to get, like, 50 of them are going to get murdered. He's like, 50 people, they're all worth it just so I can keep you. It's like, it's like kind of weird, creepy, like, lover kind of like admirer element to it as well.
But there's so much with this whole ploy that the ISB set up and everything that's going on. It's like such a like deep layered sort of trap, and I like that they've played it all out because it is literally like they've captured someone and they think they're playing this mind game of we'll send this ship back out and we'll think, but then that part that they have that conversation with the head dude where they're like, well, if we saw that, what would we do? We'd actually go out there. So then they actually send people out even though they already know it's there. So they're playing along. Meanwhile, you've got the rat in there who then goes and tells Luthen, and then if he doesn't do what he would do without knowing what he knows, it's so like
if they change it, they'll know somebody's new inside the ISB, and then will be Cassian.
Yes.
But then he's like, if they take him out, they'll think we're just nobody. There's just 50 people who are up in the rebellion, and then maybe they'll back off.
Yeah. So it's hard.
He's playing like 3D chess.
He's playing
100%
3D. Yeah, 100%. The other thing, you've never seen The Departed, have you?
Yeah, I've seen The Departed.
Okay,
it's been a while.
It was making me think of The Departed, like that scene with Luthen and everything, like just a discussion, and because the dude wanted out and didn't want to be the rat anymore. It was reminding me of
it's Jack Nicholson, right?
Well, Jack Nicholson's he's the mob dude, but I don't want to spoil The Departed. Oh, fuck, I'm spoiling The Departed. It's 2005 or whenever it came out. But Jack Nicholson's an informant anyway, but they get someone on, but he's a mob boss, but they get someone in to get information on him, which is Leonardo DiCaprio, right? So he goes through and he gets the thing. Yeah, never heard of it. But he goes through and does the thing, but like he has scenes where he wants out because he's gets sick of it. And then, he has discussions where people are like, no, you just got to keep doing it. I don't know why, it was just weirdly reminding me, making me think of that. So, just look, it's definitely not a bad thing when I'm watching this and it's making me think of, Oscar nominated like stellar performances from Martin Scorsese's The Departed. So
it's not a bad comparison.
No, not a bad comparison. And then we had one scene. I think we only cut to Mon Motha once. Yeah,
but so it's impactful.
It is impactful. So she speaks to. Well, I can't remember the character's name. Do you remember?
It is Davo Sculdun. Sculdun.
Yeah. So she has this sit down meeting with him about the money stuff that we were talking about last episode, and he asks her to, I don't know, be his thing. I don't know. How would you word it?
He says, I want to come back here, but next time I come back, I want to bring my 14-year-old son.
Yeah.
Pretty much he's arranging, he wants to
arrange his own bloody marriage, but it sounds like.
Yeah, which, I don't know, maybe it's not great that this show kind of overlapped with House of the Dragon, which in that show, like everybody's getting arranged marriage, so it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but clearly it's like, hasn't worked out for Mon, so she doesn't really want that for her daughter, so that idea is not very pleasing to her, but her daughter's been kind of a, bit kind
she's
of
a pain in the butt.
She hasn't been particularly nice to Mon this entire season, so why not just marry her off? Yeah.
She says no straight away, but I really loved that. Again, the dialogue in the show is just always really, really good. But that part where he turns around at the end, Davos or whatever, he says, when Mon's like, absolutely not, I won't think about it or whatever. And he's like, that's the first lie you've said this evening or whatever. Like, I was like, oh, burn. Like, take that one. So, and again, really great performance, small performance by Genevive. Reilly, everyone's really good in the show, but stand out. Any smaller bits and pieces I may have missed amongst all this? Of course, if you're going to loop back to the main thing, which Prison Break, I guess.
Prison Break, I just, like you said, the opening, like, them explaining to everybody, like, what the fuck is happening, and, like,
the panic around it.
We finally understand why Cassian was trying to break the pipe and, like, what they would actually do. Like the idea was hopefully the water would like overload the floors if they were wet. They got turned on, and like
It's funny because you're watching it, you're like, oh, they're all going to get electric.
Yeah, it's like
because water conducts.
I've seen Pokemon. Water conducts electricity. This is a bad idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you got Andy Serkis telling everybody to go on the floors, but he doesn't get on the floors. He doesn't get onto the tables. He doesn't get on the tables. So if that hadn't worked, he would have been dead. So that's why he's like happy. He's like leading the charge from there on in because he was microseconds away from death. Really.
I mean, a lot of people die in this episode. The amount of people just like
they do.
The
like
time it takes
one of the guys
to,
from Table 5 gets shot pretty brutally. I think.
Yeah. A lot of people just dying.
Yeah, just the whole taking out the elevator
the way
thing.
That's they're trying to take this elevator. And there's no way for them to hide. Like people are just getting straight up.
I feel
killed.
sad for the dude who's just getting brought in for the first time.
Yeah, I like how he automatically jumped in. Like he's all skittish. You see him on the way down, but the second shit starts going on, he's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm in." Like,
yeah,
let's go, boys.
2 seconds, let's go.
Yeah, that was really good.
And then just the way they just kind of take each floor.
Yeah,
like,
it's that sort of chant as well. Like
the chant. Well, I mean, the Andy Serkis speech, everything to come, is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm like is like, why did Cassian let the guards in that room live?
Yeah, that was like,
there's but I guess, so many people have seen Cassian's face at this point. How is he a spy? That's the only thing.
I guess it's that thing of he's comfortable shooting people if they've got guns, but that would have been like if you kill them, it's a cold blooded, it's an execution. So, and the thing is, Cassian, at least from what we know from Rogue One, would reach a stage where he would execute them. But he's not at that stage here, is the thing. So I think that's the difference. Because, start of Rogue One, sort of out again, he just straight up kills that dude.
Yeah.
Just because he can't talk. So that I don't think the Cassian we've got here would do that, though. We're not at that stage.
Yeah. I thought the boots were going to play a part in it, but no.
No?
They set up as a thing in like the early episode, like it's like a red herring kind of like misdirect. It's like, then he's still in boots. No.
Yeah.
Just kill everybody.
It's one way to do it. Old fashioned.
And then you got that one shot of like all the Imperial people like hiding in a broom closet.
As they run past and stuff like that. Yeah. It was really good. So we're heading into the last arc now.
And that shot from above.
The overhead shot?
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, just like the little
because it's meant it kind of looks like the Imperial symbol, and like all these people are breaking out of it. So
yeah, really good. I mean, there's a lot of I guess symbolism you could take. The fact that the water, which was like this sort of thing that kicked off and started this literally rebellious outburst, literally seeps through. Like it says, like it spreads, like sort of like water spreads. So I mean, there's lots of symbolism you could draw, but. Where do you think we're going with the last act with all the characters, the way they're sort of set up? Like, I presume Cassian breaks out of prison, he's going to go back to his mum.
Yeah.
And we all know that she's being watched by both, I can't remember the character's name, but Vel? No.
Vel's lover.
No.
Yeah.
Sintra,
I think. Or something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But also by people from IBS or whatever.
Yeah.
So something bad's going to happen there. I don't know fully what's going to happen with, like, where Luthen's story is going to end up this season. That's the only part, like, I don't know, maybe he gets involved. Maybe Cassian meets up with him by the end of all this, or...
Well, I think it is telling that, like, the final scene, like, Luthen's giving his whole speech. I think his final words of the episode are something along the lines of, I need to keep all my heroes close to my chest. It's like Luther, Cassian, and I'm assuming that's the guy from Rogue One that he's running with.
Which one?
In the desert?
Oh, then it is. It is, yeah. It was the dude from Rogue One. The one that we talked about last week. Yeah. I didn't realize was actually from it, but then people on the internet pointed out, and it's like, that's who it was, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Really cool just to have a random character like that.
So I guess they're going to be adversaries at first, and then, he'll come on board. Luthen's plan.
Yeah.
So I convince him to keep him.
Really keen. Gonna be sad when it's over because
only 2 episodes left.
Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe there'll be like maybe a bit longer of a finale or something like that. A bit over an hour, maybe. closer to an hour.
Yeah.
Because episode lengths have been like 50 odd minutes and then 45. So, yeah, they vary. None of the episodes for this show have been short, though. Nothing, I don't think there's been a single episode that's been like below that sort of 45-minute mark.
Yeah. Final question before, we kind of wrap things up. I put a poll up on the Explosion Pod Twitter. Which episode do you love more? The Eye or One Way Out?
It's so fucking hard. I think this one. I think One Way Out. They're very different, is the thing. One Way Out.
They're both
is
kind of combinations of like.
They are
the build up.
The combinations of multiple episodes, but this feels like this just still feels so much more like a hopeful end. Like Cassian sort of leading the charge and sort of getting closer to becoming this rebel leader sort of type, and the spark of rebellion sort of atmosphere and whatever else. And the prison break is just really, really well put together. And then, what's that episode called? I forgot. The Eye, right? The Eye. The Eye is, this really beautiful, well-paced, thrilling heist that ends in a bunch of people who are up their own asses wanting to kill each other. Like everyone who's obsessed with money. So, no, they're both like some of the best TV, I think, of the year. Which is crazy because both episodes come from like the last 6 weeks and from the same show. But they're definitely both two of the best episodes of the year in my eye. Top 10, 20, whatever we're doing. But I think I'll go this one. Maybe it's just, what would you pick? What are you picking?
I think maybe it's just because I've sat longer with it,
Yeah.
And obviously there's the tension that ramps up the entire episode. Obviously it's completely devoted to this elements. It's got that beautiful like sequence in the eye meteorite storm or whatever. So yeah, very.
I really want to when I do a rewatch, because I definitely want to do a rewatch. This is one of those shows I'm liking so much, I just want to rewatch it straight away. But I'm thinking about doing it like and actually just doing them as movies. So like not like watch the first 3 episodes, maybe one night. Next, maybe a night or two later, I watch the next 3. Like the arc as a movie.
One night you just watch that one episode.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, the epilogue sort of episode. Oh no, maybe just tack that on. But I'd have to think about it, and then we'll have to see how the last 2 episodes play out. But I feel like you could do it as sort of a couple good movies. Not to say that I think this should have been a movie because it's very well put together TV.
It's a great TV show,
and it's like having stuff to discuss each week. And it's that thing of if these were movies and if this was all bingeable on Netflix, we wouldn't have as much time to discuss and pull apart and have a think about these smaller moments. And characters like Andy Serkis may be people like, it was really good, but you don't have enough time over 3 weeks to actually like really think about and have this character seep into your memory. So no, I'm not saying it should be a movie, but in a rewatch, maybe that would be a good way to do it, like sort of 3 episodes at a time. But cool. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Holocron Entries / Going Rogue. Of course, all our other Star Wars shows are on this podcast feed, including The Mandalorians, The Very Bad Batch, and whatever else. The next Star Wars show is going to be called. They just started filming. What the fuck's it called? The Acolyte. So whatever our after show for that ends up being called. Follow our Twitters by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter and join our Discord, explosionnetwork.com Discord. If you like this episode and want to tell us, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Donate as a little dollar to help support the website and help support Holocron Entries. And until next week, keep on rebelling.